You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Key, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
I'm talking about Shabaka going crazy. People going crazy in them motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it's nothing. Nothing. Got a woman on the bed. Man made the car. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electric light to kick us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water like the 7-no-meter. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. And man makes them happy because man makes them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world. But
Black family greetings.
Grand Rising, Grand Rising from Sin City and a Mile High City. Welcome to Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced this morning for Grand Rising. And also, too, we got a dynamic show tonight with Lady Che and also to Brother Che and Krumah coming to us from out of our Denver, Colorado offices. And this is Shabaka Sankori, and I'm coming to you from the one and only Sin City, Nevada. All right, Grand Rising to you, Brother Che. How you feel this morning?
Grand Rises, I'm a little exhausted, but I'll manage.
Okay. Well, you still got youth on your side, young man. You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing. And here on this Season 8, Episode 20 of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, we'll be discussing Donald Trump's flawed defense of the current charges against him in the federal court system, the Supreme Court's decision to grant the governor of the great state of Texas to turn his state into a far right dictatorship like it hasn't been that already. Also, too, we'll be discussing about the Association of Black Museums on the rise as the Hidden History Museum Tariq Nasheed opened up over a year ago in Los Angeles in the Jefferson Park, West Adams district. More people are thirsting for more knowledge of self and the brutality of white America towards Black people. And in addition, they're having a hip-hop museum open in Bronx, New York. So please call in with your questions, comments, and concerns. The call-in number is 516-418-5996. Press 1 and you'll be live on the air. And this episode is for those who are 18 years of age and older. And also, too, this episode is also being semi-casted on StreamYard, Facebook, and YouTube. And the air date of this episode is March 22nd, 2024. Our hashtags are Election24, Joe Gibson, NBC, CNN, CBS, ABC, Knowledge of Self, Hip Hop, Source Magazine, Denver Post, the Los Angeles Slimes, the Chicago Defender, Black-owned media, Outlaw Radio, Resurrection of the Mental Dead, Tariq Nasheed, Frontline Black News, Donald Duck Trump, the great state of Texas, and the state of New York, and the great state of Georgia. Well, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, here at Shabaka's Black Experience, you know, they don't like the truth of what we say. So, but we're going to keep giving this truth is because we still have to remember all those who made the ultimate sacrifice of what end our liberation and also too of our self-sufficiency. All right. And then you have to acknowledge the fact that all these other groups are coming in, getting benefits and taking money away from us with these damn migrants situations. Okay. Now, and we've stated before, and we will continue to state that we do not ass scratch here. We do not yassa boss, you know. Dr. King's dream was a nightmare, and fortunately, one thing we will always respect about Dr. King is that he did realize he led his people into a burning house when it came to integration. You see, now, the Dumps legal team says that there is a fatal defect in the Dumps Federal Court of Appeals ruling that rejected his argument that he was protected from prosecution during his time in office. His legal team stated that presidents have to be given total immunity to perform their duties while in office without fear of repercussion. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's not no freedom of speech right there. That there is a dictatorship, okay? But they don't want us to recognize it. You know, they simply want us to ass scratch, yassa boss, go along with you, the boss, and all this old type of crap. You know what I'm saying? And then when we speak about these things here on social media, we are called racist. And I just don't understand that. What's your comments on that there, Brother Che?
I think it's projection. I think they're projecting their racism onto us because we know, and those of us that are Black, specifically non-white people, know that we cannot be racist based off the compensatory code concept by Neely Fuller Jr. and Dr. Francis Crest Wilson. At the very most, we could be prejudiced or bigoted, but we cannot be racist. Because in order to be racist, you have to have institutional power to enforce or influence your racism or your prejudice.
Facts.
So we can't be racist. We can be prejudiced. We can be bigoted. We cannot be racist. So they're projecting their racist ideologies and views onto us and trying to make us feel bad for loving ourselves. And like you always say, Shabaka, just because we love ourselves don't mean that we hate anybody else. We're just for our people first.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not racism. It's because these other groups of people are for themselves first. You see what I'm saying? And then when we sit up there and mention that, it says, well, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You know what I mean? And so, and then when we try to
First of all, you got to have boots. You got to have boots, first of all. And then you got to be able to get this goddamn oppression off your back so you can pull yourself up.
Right, you see, and then on top of it, you know, this all-inclusive stuff is a bunch of bullshit. You see what I'm saying? It's because everybody else, you know, is benefiting off of our suffrage. You see what I'm saying? And it's more than just the right to vote. Yep. You see what I mean? And then the sad part about it is,
well, they keep trying to fearmonger us, Shabaka, talking about they're trying to take away the right to vote. No, they're not. They just They just don't want us to leave the Democratic plantation. So they're trying to pull out all the stops, and they're using the same playbook they used in 2020, the same playbook that they used in 2016, the same playbook they used in 2012, 2008, and going all the way back to 92. The same playbook. These Democrats keep using the same damn playbook. And our people, unfortunately, keep falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. But there's a new day on the plantation. We're not going for this shit no more. So we've said numerous times, if they want our vote, they're going to do something tangible for us. And they're not going to be able to fearmonger us. The dump as in human shit. And we want to make that perfectly clear. It's so bad, and this and that, as if Biden isn't bad as well. In fact, he's worse because he actually created policy that directly impacted Black America. It's just the foundation of Black Americans. We have a caller, Shabaka. I think this is brother. Oh shit, I can't remember his name now. I think this is brother. I can't remember this brother's name. Michael.
Okay.
Is it brother Michael or brother Robert? I think this is brother Robert. All right, 810 last 41615. I'm gonna unmute your mic. What's your name? Where you calling from? 810 last 41615. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Sister Trish. How are you doing this morning, sister? How are you feeling?
You got time today?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, Sister Trish, because, you know, his brother Paris will tell you, I got caught there in the snow there back in Denver, Colorado. But I'm out here in the great state of Nevada, Sin City, and we got about a good 55 degrees, not rubbing it in. Okay, now let me ask you this here, Sister Trish. Okay, with you being an educator, what is your opinion, ma'am, on the Association of Black Museums on the rise, as a hidden history museum, Tariq, Nasheed opened in Los Angeles over a year ago in Los Angeles. And more people are thirsting for more knowledge of self and the brutality of white America towards us.
No, the museum.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, because they have a more black owned. Yeah, they're having more
Yeah.
museums, dealing with Black history opening up, like what Tariq and Nasheed did out in LA with the Hidden History Museum. And then, of course, you have hidden history museums in the Bronx, New York. And they're kind of like they're coming up all over the place.
Well,
You know what I mean?
the one in the Bronx is a hip hop museum, and that came about. That was one of Biden's symbolic gestures to us to make it seem like he
Okay.
was doing something for Black people all around the same time, passing legislation for the Asian community and all these other groups. Go ahead, Sister Trish. Yeah, what do you think about all these museums that are popping up, and are people thirsting for knowledge of self? Hmm. Right. That's right, sister. Well, if you're not aware, our good brother Tariq Nasheed is about to release a documentary called Microphone Check, and it'll be dropping in May. And he's gonna have showings throughout the country. I believe Detroit is on the list, so you definitely want to look into that so you can get a screening, get the first screening of it. Um, Microphone Check, and then our brother Dwan B. He's also coming up with a documentary called "It's Bigger Than Hip Hop," which basically showcases all the genres that we have created besides hip hop um, here in America. And then there's another documentary that's on YouTube right now. It's called the Eve or Just Eve or um, and it's basically about the blues and soul and all these genres that we had before hip hop burst on the scene, including country music. You see how they're trying to give Beyonce hell for her country music album, not realizing that country music was created by Black people as well.
Right. It's because country music is nothing more than white folks' versions of R&B.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Right. Well, mhm, right, right. Well,
Mm.
here's the thing, sister. Like I said, we created country, we created blues, we created jazz, we created soul, R&B, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, just about every single genre that's just country, rock and roll has ever of music we have created. So um, now is we're gatekeeping our music because these others seem to think that they can take credit for our stuff, and then they think that they can gatekeep it. And they're giving Beyonce all these problems because they're saying that country music is for white people, and it's like, no, country music was created by black people, and the original the original so-called country music greats gave all their credit to black people. They said it was black people that taught them how to play the instruments. It was black people that taught them how to do this and that. It was black people that taught them. So, and back in the day, they used to be very upfront with that. But now these days, they think that they actually own that they actually control that genre, and it's like, no, 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 boo boo. We got to go back and circle of wagons and gatekeep all of our genres. Um, and that's what we're doing in documentaries such as Microphone Check, and It's Bigger Than Hip Hop, and the other one I said Summer Eve or Just Eve or whatever Eve is showcasing that. So I think that's why the museums are so important, because we have that history recorded. You know, they're going out their way to whitewash our history and whitewash the history of this country too.
Right. And then on top of that, there too, is that when you look at this stuff that's going on with Donald Duck Trump, you know what I'm saying, is contradicting the so-called principles that this country was built on. But in my opinion, Donald Duck Trump, you know what I'm saying, he's expressing of how white America honestly feels. He feels he's above the law. He's going to rig it, you know what I'm saying, just like what they're trying to do to the sister down there in Texas with Fannie Willis, trying to get her off the case, is because, you know, she had an involvement, you know, with brother Nathaniel. Okay, I mean, that's only natural between men and women. Okay, if it didn't interfere with her job, if it didn't interfere with the integrity of the office of which she had swore to uphold, then why should it matter of what these two grown adults are doing in their private business? You see what I'm saying?
So they're finding every excuse in the book to try to. They're trying every excuse to get the dump as inhuman shit, and we want to make that perfectly clear.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and you know, and they're putting this dude up above the law. You see what I mean? And then it's but one thing I am happy to say is that these black Democrats, you know, are pulling away from Joe Biden. And then Roly-Poly Martin had a brother up on his show recently. I agree with you. I agree with you. But there was this brother that he had up there, man, you know, who was supporting Donald Duck, right? And then Roly-Poly Martin, man, you know, was hitting the man with some facts and what have you. Me personally, I think the brother could have did a better job going up against Roly-Poly Martin. And also, too, Roland Martin, you're welcome to call in, too, at 516-418-5996 as well. Okay, but basically what I'm getting to is that, see, we got to quit wasting our time focusing on these two-party systems. And as Sister Trish has stated, we got to worry about more on the education of our youth. We got to worry about our girls coming up as young ladies and not these ratchets, you know what's. The same thing with our men is because, you know, they got our men folk want to come up here all effeminized and what have you, okay? Just like how you and I, Brother Chad, talked about the Joshua syndrome. Grown ass man, you know, want to go up here and use the women's restroom and all this old type of stuff, you see, and they're not having our black boys, you know, coming up as black men. Is because I think Minister Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam had wrote a book in I believe, the mid-1990s, if I'm not mistaken, about the plot to destroy black boys. Now, I see what he is talking about, okay, because this is a plot. This was a long-term plot. You see what I'm saying?
And also our great master teacher, master scholar, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, also wrote about this in the ISIS papers, that they were going to have black men go from sagging and you know what sagging is spelled backwards, to going into wearing a dress. And we've seen it. I've seen it. You've seen it.
Yes, sir.
Trish,
yes, sir.
The gradual de-evolution into that. Because she said basically they're going to go out of the pants and into wearing a dress. And Every time you look around, you got a black man in a goddamn dress,
Yeah,
especially in
you see what
Hollywood.
I'm saying? Yes, sir. And particularly out there in Los Angeles, when they have those Academy Awards and what have you, all the ratchetness, comes out there. You see what I mean? And then got our young women up here worshiping whoredom as opposed to coming up as young ladies. You see what I mean? Then
Right.
you also too, and then you got the shattering of the black family unit, where the black woman doesn't even want to be bothered with the black man anymore, and vice versa. And they come up here with this illusion of inclusion, which is basically is diluting black culture. You see what I mean? And then on top of it, I've appeared on other podcasts in the past, as you know, Sister Trish and Brother Che, and and I've got into some knockdown dragouts with them. But you see, they want to come up to us with this all-inclusive crap, but at the same token, they want to protect their white privilege. You see what I mean? And then they talking about the funniest thing, the term I ever heard is what they talk about this. Reverse discrimination. Okay, now for you to say you have reverse discrimination, then you have to acknowledge that discrimination exists in the first place.
In the first place, just like that stupid ass reverse racism, Shabaka. In order for you to say there's reverse racism, you have to acknowledge there's racism in the first place. And there's only one form of racism, and that is racism, white supremacy, and that's a global system in all 9 areas of human activity. Economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, sex, war, religion, and some say health and nutrition.
Yeah. And then the cold part about it is, and as soon as we try to go up there and deal with that, then they want to divert from it. You see what I'm saying? But they don't never want to face up to it. But then I'm seeing that a lot of our youth, Brother Che and your generation, okay, are unaware of what we went through during the Black empowerment era and the civil rights movement.
They don't even teach. They don't even teach the Black empowerment era. They teach this bullshit that Martin Luther King had a dream, and we all stood up, and then Obama was the president, and we're now post-racial. That's what they teach the youth, and it's like, no, this is complete bullshit. Like you skipping whole generations of information and knowledge, and then you're labeling our Black empowerment leaders and revolutionaries such as Malcolm X as civil rights leaders. They don't want to have nothing to do with civil rights. They say, who the hell is Sybil?
Exactly.
Like Dr. Claude Anderson always says, who the hell is Sybil? Where is Sybil? Who is Sybil? We were fighting for human rights.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Just like what anybody oppressed people would do. And then on top of it as well, too, is how they try to downplay what's going on over there in Africa. And then also, too, with the Pan-African movement dying out, or for all practical purposes, as you have pointed out, Brother Che, it has died out, is because we in the diaspora are the only ones on that square, except for the ones that are on the continent, okay? It's because, they are being subjugated, to the Europeans, the Boers, and now the Chinese is there, and they go on there getting all the raw materials for all these laptops and computers that they making, and then of course they take it, across the Indian Ocean, process it, prefab it over there in China, and then they shove it across the Pacific, going right there up under the Golden Gate Bridge to Silicon Valley. And then look at what the city of San Francisco is about. You see what I mean? Where you allow naked ass men to walk down the street in front of children, talking about, this is his right. Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Sister Trish. Oh, we didn't know if you had, if you wanted to jump in on that, what Shabaka was just saying. Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh
it
yeah,
does.
especially the drill.
Right.
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 Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. Exactly. You said,
Right.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes,
Right.
ma'am. Absolutely.
Yes. They
Exactly. Of
have
course
to
they
be.
are.
But,
Yes, ma'am. And I see you're right.
right.
And then I
You're
see we
right.
got a call out of Chicago here, 312, the last three,
I think that's Brother
484.
Robert.
If you want to join in the conversation, just simply press one and we'll be happy to unmute your mic. Okay, but you are absolutely correct, Sister Bediz, because I recall as a kid coming up, like in the 60s and in the 70s, you did have the Black family unit intact. You see what I mean? Is because the daddies was teaching the boys how to be men. They were teaching them, how to dress, number one, to keep their pants up,
Yeah.
number one. Also, to teaching them basic skills of how to work a saw, a hammer, auto mechanics, stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
having the men to become self-sufficiency. And then when Gloria Steinem came up with this women's liberation stuff, and nothing against women, Sister Padilla, but I don't think the women's lib movement applied to Black women. That there was specifically for a sheltered white woman, as Brother Che had stated, because the Black
Right.
woman always been strong. The Black woman always commanded respect. The Black woman, was always the first teacher of the babies. You see what I'm saying? And then,
Mm-hmm.
and then the strength of the Black woman, of all of which she had to endure. And then, of course, with the daddies being taken out the home, these boys are coming up self-destructive and effeminized. You see what I'm saying? And the first thing they prey on is each other. You see it in Detroit, you see it in New York, you see it in Los Angeles, you see it in Oakland, you see it in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? You see it all in the inner cities, inner South, Atlanta, Memphis, you know what I mean? New Orleans, Louisiana. Louisiana, and then this Hollywood institution, you know. And keep in mind, folks, that Hollywood is a section of the city of Los Angeles. It's not its own city, and they keep projecting that, you know, like Tyler Perry, you know, wearing all these dresses and stuff like that, and the man's caught running over with wealth and success. So why doesn't he reinvest into the Black community by changing the imagery of it? Okay, but they're not gonna let him. You see what I mean? It's because just like what Robert Johnson did when he had started BET, he went up there and he went and sold it. Okay, he went and sold BET. All right, and he thought that he was going to take that $2 billion he sold BET for and parlaying into buying United Airlines. You know what I'm saying? And then, lo and behold, they told him, "No, man, you could pretty much get up out of here." So it ain't happening. So now Paramount owns BET, and look at the crap that you see on BET.
No, Viacom.
There's one.
Viacom.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I stand corrected. You're right. It is owned by Viacom. Yeah, I stand corrected on that there, Brother Parrots. Okay, but look at the imagery that they're projecting on it. You know, all it is a bunch of buffoonery, a bunch of cooning, a bunch of clowning. You know what I mean? And it's not showing nothing about rebuilding the Black family unit. Okay, and then look at how the public school system, you know, from New York to Los Angeles is all tainted. You see what I mean? And then on top of it too, the thing that's really getting to me that I'm finding most amazing, and I really wish some of our critics and our haters would call upon this one right here. Well, you got this thing called reverse racism. Man, what is reverse racism? We don't control no police departments. We don't control no state legislators or no governorships. And if you do have Black legislators and Black governors and what have you, hell, when you even had a Black president, he's promoting everybody else's agenda except his own. You see, this isn't hatred.
Yep, they're just
puppets.
puppets.
This isn't hatred.
Puppets for the establishment. They're just puppets for the establishment. They've been bought and sold.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And then we do have a caller here out of Chicago with the last 3484. If you want to join into the conversation, just please press 1 and we'll be more than happy to unmute your mic and see what's on your mind, what's happening there in the Windy City, you know. Okay, but then when we also look at when they try to put together, you know, accurate records of the brutalization of the lynchings down there in the South. And I believe Ida B. Wells was documenting that, you know, when she was with the Chicago Defender. You see what I mean?
Yep.
You know, mainstream media, you know, they didn't want to bring that out. Look at the case of Emmett Till and Carolyn Bryant. You know, here's a white woman up here talking about that, oh, he whistled at me and stuff like that, and they go kill young man. You see what I mean? And then not to mention the fact that your current vice president, Kamala Harris, when little Mario Woods was murdered in San Francisco in 2015, she was the district attorney over there. She didn't prosecute none of those police officers that shot and killed him. You see what I'm saying? And then
she didn't prosecute none of the officers that killed Oscar Grant.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. On the BART platform at Fruitvale Station. Yes, sir. Yeah. And I did a video from there years ago. And then the mark is still on the BART platform of where he was shot, because as you know, Johannes Mercilessly had handcuffed him, laid him face down, then simply took out his 9mm and shot him in the back. You see what I mean? And then he goes in and says up here in his lies, oh, well, I thought I was reaching for my taser. Okay, well, man, if you can't tell the difference between the taser and a 9mm, then you shouldn't have had that job. You see, period.
Yeah.
You see,
you shouldn't have had that job. And then they keep this qualified immunity shit. So these motherfuckers, they have a license to kill, especially us. They have a license to kill us. And then they just get away with it because they can say stupid shit like that, or I fear for my life, or all that dumb shit. Remember that white woman that killed Dante Wright? She said that dumb shit too. Kim
Yeah,
Porter.
right.
Or I distinguished my taser from my gun. You know
Yeah.
goddamn
Okay.
well which side your gun is on and which side your taser's on.
Yeah, you're
That's
supposed to
all
know,
part of your
and plus
training.
that. Yeah, exactly. And then on top of it, the taser is usually a bright orange or a bright yellow color, to whereas the firearm is basically brown or black because it's out of steel. You see what I mean? But then you get a lot of them, that go out there that says, "Oh well, I just want to protect property and all that stuff." That's the biggest lie. You want to go out there and you want to kill on black people, just like with that Kyle Rittenhouse case over there between Chicago and Wisconsin. Okay.
Yeah, fuck
Oh,
him.
I'm going
And
over
shout out
here
shout
to
out to the
protect property.
University of Memphis for booing his ass off the goddamn stage. You know that motherfucker had the audacity to try to speak in front of a crowd of students at the University of Memphis and
Okay.
BLM whatever protesters shut that shit down. Oh, you did,
Oh,
Sister
okay. As
Trish?
well as they should
I just
have.
read about it. Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just here on the West. I'm the last to wake up from you guys. You know what I mean? And then too, on top of it, is that the fervor that the dump is perpetuating, throughout the world, you see, and throughout the U.S. He is upholding racism and white supremacy. You see, that
And
is what
so
his
is Biden.
platform
We,
is.
we can't lose sight of
Oh,
that,
well, of
Shabaka.
course
So is
Biden
Biden.
is.
Biden
Oh, yes,
said,
sir.
don't defund the police, fund the police. Then he used
Yeah,
George Floyd as a catalyst to get into
right,
office. Talking about, oh, we're gonna do
right.
police reform, we're gonna end qualified immunity, we're gonna do this and that. That motherfucker got in office and said, don't defund the police, fund the police.
Yeah, no,
And
defund the
Musk is still
police. You
telling
know
us
what
that
I'm
he's the
saying?
lesser of two evils. It's all
Yeah,
evil. Why you voting for
exactly.
evil in the first place?
Yes, sir. You see what I'm saying? And then the cold part about it is that there is no accountability, by them. You see what I'm saying? And then
No.
also too, I'm just looking here at a clip from Black Enterprise magazine. Former President Donald Trump warned of dire consequences if not reelected in 2024, stating that it would lead to a bloodbath for the country. While the dump's remarks initially seemed directed at the auto industry's trade nations with China, they sparked debate on social media about the potential incitement of violence akin to January 6. Despite criticism, the dump campaign doubled down on the comments, blaming Biden's policies for potential economic turmoil, while Biden's spokesperson condemned Trump's rhetoric as indicative of his affinity to violence. So basically, what that day is saying there, Black family, we can't win with neither one of them. And then these
Right.
Black politicians, these Black politicians that you currently got, they need to take them into the old folks' home and have them change their diapers. Okay, it's
Right.
because they're just pathetic. That Eric Adams, that Brandon Johnson. Well, you want to give all this money here to these migrants and what have you, but you don't want to do nothing for Black folks that built your country. You see what I'm saying? And the hypocrisy is real. And then on top of it as well too, when we look at this the general media, you know what I'm saying, that comes up there, we with this bullshit about, well, we got to sit up here, man, we got to participate off in this process. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we
No,
don't.
the hell we
What we
don't.
got to do, yeah, we got to start building up, some industries, you see, and some educational facilities, to direct our youth. We got to bring the Black family unit back together. You see what I'm saying? And then when you look at Candace Owens, when you look
Oh
at
my God.
Halle Berry, you see what I'm saying? This is sickening. You know what I mean? This is totally sickening. And say, oh, well, this is all progress and what have you. You say, well, we had the Chicago call drop off. Okay, well, thank you for joining us, Chicago. Okay, all righty. And so, and this is sickening. You know what I mean? And then let me take over, Brother Che, because I'm going to check our chat room to see if we got any hate mail. And please, ladies and gentlemen, direct all your hate mail to our chat room. Okay, there's somebody in here, Chef Rob. Oh, okay. Maybe that was Chef
Oh, that was
Rob
Chef.
who was
That
with
was
us.
probably Chef Rob. Call back in, Chef Rob.
Yeah,
We
Chef
would
Rob,
love
yeah,
to hear
please
from you.
call back in. Okay, and greetings to him. I'm trying to get him back because he was in the chat room right here. And
I'm in the chat
if he
room. I'm
can,
telling him now.
okay. All right, okay, but anyway, moving right along. Okay, is that the cold part about it, too, is that when the Supreme Court, okay, going down here to the great state of Texas, okay, when the Supreme Court uh, grants, we have what
Before we
now?
get to Texas, Shabaka, I don't know if you were aware of this, but one of Obama's appointed judges is allowing these illegal immigrants to have Second Amendment rights.
Okay,
in
so now
Illinois.
they're allowing the migrants to come in here and have Second Amendment rights. Okay, see, the
Correct.
hypocrisy is real on that. Okay, so you want the immigrants to come in here and have Second Amendment rights. Okay, but white America does not want to discuss reparations for Black folks, and then they don't want us to have Second Amendment rights. It's because, as we know, 50 years ago, when Black folks, had asserted their right to Second Amendment rights, okay, they were labeled as terrorists. Okay, and a lot of them, were taken to jail on trumped up charges. So the hypocrisy is real. So why are we not building up our own businesses and what have you? It's because it's all inclusive stuff. It's simply does
integration,
not work.
Because of
Yeah.
integration.
Yes, sir. You see what I'm saying? And and the sad part about it is that this is why we got to take care of ourselves first. You see what I'm saying? Is because you see, Black family, we are in a state of emergency. Okay, when you just look at this garbage, that's coming across the news.
Fox News. Yeah. Go ahead, Shabaka. So with that, yeah, the one that couldn't define a woman. Mm-hmm. They got a hook in their mouth, as one of Jeff Fart's people always say. They got a hook in their mouth, Shabaka. They they can't say nothing about that. But see, here's the thing, Shabaki. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments were specifically for black people, foundational black Americans, descendants of American chattel slavery freedmen. As Dr. Claude Anderson says, it was supposed to be corrective action for slavery in Jim Crow. It was supposed to be corrective action. Um, that's where they get that affirmative action from. It's supposed to be corrective action. And as we can clearly see, all those rights that our ancestors fought and died for are benefiting everybody but us because they allowed them to use that broad, ambiguous language, such as people of color, minorities, now white women, and white LGBTQ plus men are able to benefit from it, and now illegal immigrants who aren't even citizens. There's a right way of doing immigration. There's a wrong way of doing immigration. These mugs ain't is doing it the completely wrong way, and Jim Crow Biden, his whole administration, is incentivizing it and condoning it. So he has to go. I mean, I'm not a fan of the dump as a human shit either. But we got to get sleepy Jim Crow Biden out of office because if this continues, black family, we're already complaining now. We're already complaining now. And Dr. Claude Anderson told us about 10, 15 years ago what was going to happen. And now we're in scramble mode trying to figure out what to do next. Well, you can start by getting Joe Biden out of goddamn office because he's allowing this shit. He's already allowed, what, 7 million illegal immigrants to come across the border. And they are putting them in our neighborhoods, in our communities, and displacing us and putting us out on the street, and they putting them up in these nice fancy hotels, talking about they need sanctuary, and giving them money. They're giving them money now, while our people are literally starving and freezing to death on the streets of Chicago, of the streets of Detroit, on the streets of Denver, et cetera, et cetera. And these mothers are like, oh, come right on in. We'll take you here. They giving them job fairs. They're having job fairs for them, hiring events for them. They ain't doing none of that for actual citizens, especially black ones. So yeah, Super Jim Crow got to go. Joe and the hoe must go.
Hey, I'm in here. Um, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in here. Uh,
Hmm.
Hey, you hear me?
They can pay them cheap ass wages. They don't have to provide them any kind of benefits. Whereas actual citizens, you have to abide by OSHA regulations and rules, and they want to go circle navigate that and say no, we're not gonna deal with none of that. And then Sleepy Jim Crow Biden is making it harder for those that us that are gig workers to do our little side jobs, little side hustles, because now he's talking about if you make more than $600, you can't do a 1099 on your taxes. You know, this is tax season. You can't
Can
do a 1099 on your taxes. He wants you to do a 1040. So you're basically an employee, and they
can you hear me,
continue to
Twitter?
tax you. And like Terrence Howard said, which we've been saying for years, but Terrence Howard said recently that it's immoral for them to be taxing the former slaves, the descendants of the former slaves, because they said no taxation without representation, and we're not being represented. So why are we being taxed?
Jesse,
And we're not benefiting from none of it. These mugs that didn't even pay no taxes didn't vote. Now one of these politicians in office is taking precedent over us.
Jesse,
Yeah. Lady Che, Lady Che is here. Lady Che just called in. We're gonna bring you on, Lady Che. Grand Risings, Lady Che. I have to step away for a second, Shabaka, because they're coming to pick up Lady Che's chair, so I got to make sure they can get that. So I'm step away for a second, but y'all continue the conversation. Greetings, Lady Che, Grand Risings.
Grand Rising. Sorry, Shabaka, man, I'm really late, but you know that we can't hear anything on the stream, right? Excuse me, I lost my voice.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh well, but glad I called in. Um, no, it's just I mean, I can hear Jesse, but I can't hear you, and I can't hear me. Um, right
Oh,
now,
that's because Shabaka was in the studio, but he left the studio. That's
I
probably
mean,
why they can't hear him.
we can't hear anything that, like, if there's any other caller other than ourselves, we can't hear him. I'm sorry I'm late. I ran into a show yesterday, but I was just starting at like the 2 hour something mark where it got real. That's a white dude called on, and he did something bad, Shabaka. Right? So I didn't let him back, because I'm smart. I didn't let him back because I'm smart. Cuz got on the back side of the thing, and he was like, disrobed. He was disrobed, right, from the bottoms down, and he was a white man, so he's trying to show his privates. I can't say it out loud because I'm like, yesterday, it was a whole other thing this morning. Oh man, I was like, this is the most unreal shit. We ended up having like a 3 hour conversation after that, but aside from that, Clown was like, who starts off a conversation? Why do white people start off a conversation like that? He thought he was gonna get on. I was just gonna be dumb and just add him to the studio. He said I hit him with the prison mirror, and he jumped right off. I was like, we want to talk about this, but needless to say, like, yeah, he was under. He was like, I'm trying to. I don't know what it was about, but all I know is that was the most disgusting moment in uh the revolutionary agenda history that I was like, like, who does shit like that? No respectable sister wants to see some white man in his private parts just airing himself out. And he waved at me. The whole thing is he waved at me. And I was like, God, like, I hit him with that prison mirror and he jumped right off. Like, and then he was smarter than me. He said, the whites think that they're smarter than us, right? He's like, he really did. He really thought he was smart. He was like, we're smarter than you. And he was making all kinds of fucking inflammatory conversations. I mean, like, literally, you really like start off. Needless to say, I didn't waste those good gems on him. I did not waste those good gems on him. He was not worth it. But I was just like, I clowned him a little bit. I gave him I gave him the pink floppy meat shit speech. You know what I mean? It was like nobody wants to see that shit. I was like, what are you doing? I gave him the side speech. It was funny. It was funny about it because I was like, when you talk to me and I'm talking shit, I'm clowning you. I'm talking shit back, right? And I'm like, he's like 5.9 is a satisfactory side, and I was like, for who? Like, who likes that shit, right? That's it. So nobody wants to see this like pink ass baloney type floppy type shit. Like, that's the respect, like stand up for you, like stand and salute, cuz like that, like, that's a good hit for like 15 minutes. I didn't stop, right? So I had to put myself on mute to wake up Jesse to tell him about it. And Jesse was laughing. He was like, because Jesse has class, right? Just his class. So he didn't get on like a typical motherfucker, just start talking shit. He was like in the back sleeping. He wasn't ill. He's like, it's not even worth me commenting. He's laughing in the back and sleepy. He's like, that's funny. I was like, why would you? He's like, it's a satisfactory sign. I was like, for who? For whom? That is like, no self-respecting sister wants so small ass pink fucking. I was like, he thought he was smarter than me. He didn't expect the mirror, right? He expected that I was just gonna, log him onto the StreamYard. I was like, no, I wasn't even showing half his comments. I showed most of some of them though because he caught himself saying something really bad. And that's what I say really bad is try not to be really like disrespectful this morning. And he said he's talking about as he was on a full-fledged physical attack, right? He was like, he's making all these comments. I was like, yeah, whatever, I blew that. He said, black men don't even like you. He said, I said, that's not true. I got one sleeping in the back, right? And he was like, he said, you probably like, and then he started it with the derogatory shit. He said, you probably like gorillas. And that's where it started, right? That's when the disrespect started. And I was like, oh, like in what way? Just go ahead and say it. Get off your chest. Like, because I told you, me and Jesse got like a 30-minute or less thing, right? He was like, I said, like what? Like at the zoo? Like, like gorillas at the zoo in the wild, like that, like just trying to provoke him, right? And I knew, I know what I'm doing, so I'm like, no. And then what he said was, no, like George Floyd, straight up, real shit. It's on I got it on film, right? I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh no, I would never call. And then I went into, I said, I would never speak ill of a black man who's no longer present. You know what I mean? He's not here. You know what I mean? He passed on. I said, not only that, he was killed under a white man. You know what I mean? A white man, a police officer at that. Like, and I just went in. And I said, I like foundational Black American men. Apparently, I got tight with you, right? But I was like, who talks like that? The whites, right? The emphasis on white. I was like, why would you say something like that? I went in, I was like because it's disrespectful to speak ill of anybody who passed on under the hands of white supremacy and men and less in front of us, right? And killed by a fucking officer. Keeps trying to get out of jail. Like, are you serious? Why would And I knew it was gonna go on to some derogatory black shit, you know what I mean? Because they can't help themselves. They must, right? Because he kept saying that he was like, you're gonna cancel me, you're a black supremacist. I said, and it's like, no, I'm more of a nationalist. But there's a big difference between Christian national. I can't say white nationalism for some reason. I was like, but I meant Christian nationalism. I can't correct you myself. Like Christian nationalism, aka Klan shit, versus black nationalism. Whole different energy. Like, we see that is terroristic, and us is more empowering for our people. It's like a whole separate energy, whole complete different energy. It's like, I'm not gonna be burning down no little white church or nothing. You know what I mean? Versus. But I was like, we had this whole little fucking conversation because let's see where the whites' heads are. And not only are they, I was like, not only is this perverse shit, but then you do some disrespectful shit. It's like so disrespectful. You see what I'm saying? It's almost as bad as you might as well just call me the hard N-word. You might as well say something really bad. But this is another indication of proof where we talk about the dominant society, and when they see you and they see you as black, you see what I'm saying? They don't see you as white or fair skinned or anything like that. They see you as black. And so they feel that they're so emboldened to go ahead and tell you some shit and to see how you're gonna take it and not have anything to like say about it. And I was like, what is wrong? I was like, they would never. So for us to speak about like any foundational Black American man anyway, period. But like in that manner. Secondly, not in the ill of the dead who's passed on under a fucking knee of a fucking white man of the lines of fucking racial white supremacy. Like, are you serious? I was on my shit. I was like, like, no. But I got a 30-minute or less fucking quota, so I had to be, you know what I mean? And that was even worse. I'd rather you just call me the N-word and get it out your chest like a cloudy. But to do that was like, oh, that was a direct attack. You know what I mean? That was a direct attack. I was like, that was unclassy right there. I woke up Jesse again to tell him about that. Jesse was like, mm-hmm. I was like, you want to get up and handle this library? He said, nope, we got this. I was like, God damn it. Because he said that we weren't smart and we didn't know anything, especially about Black history or whatever. And I was referring to Jesse, you know, like, shit, if you're lucky he wasn't awake. You got to have him awake to give him that fucking light work. I was like, you know, because I have to speak truth when I talk about me and only me. You know what I mean? About how I don't have a formal education at all. I have wasn't privy to go to school to the system, so I have to speak only for myself, right? I was like, however, when we talk about fucking historical geography, fucking events and things like that, Jesse's well more versed and formally educated. He went to fucking college for God's sakes. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on now, this is the stuff. Well, actually, you're lucky he's not awake. And I was like, you're lucky that you didn't call in. I gave him the call in numbers. We got a few white people to come in and we like to mess with, so you're more than welcome to call in.
Oh, that might be fun. Oh, that might be SARS. Is that you, SARS? Your latest usual SARS. Oh, hey, Chef Ron.
Chef Ron. Black Power. Yeah, Denver. Don't forget Denver. Why are you sleeping? You were just out here. You were just out here, Shabaka.
Correct.
I've been on like in Las Vegas. Yeah, I've been on one since. White man showed me his private parts, fellas. He showed me his private parts and I clowned him. He showed me I was so disgusted. I was like, ew. I hit him with that prison mirror. He wasn't expecting that. He hopped his fucking stupid ass right off. And then he get in the back chair. And he waved at me to come dancing. I hit him with that prison mirror like I was an inmate. Like, bow, bitch. Did not expect that. Thought they were smarter. I showed him. I was having a little fun with him, like a friend. I hate white people, so I do not like them. I did. I dropped off. Hold up a second.
Over 50 years old.
That's me.
Yes.
All right, I'm back, fellas. I'm sorry, man. My my fat little fingers hit the airplane mode and then hung up on everybody. I was like, my fault, fellas, my fault. I'm bad. Anyway, it's on.
Nobody can afford you in your airplane mode.
What happened, Jesse?
Yeah. Yeah. got the other beats. We got both. Okay. Mm. Okay. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yes.
What's happening for Shabaka
Exactly, because they don't tell that. They don't tell that to them small hats. They don't tell that to the small hats.
That's right. That's true.
That's right. Right.
Like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Thank you, Chef Rock. That was a second one. Yep. Fuck that. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly,
I
Chef
hate
Rock.
when they say that shit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, Chef Rock.
Right.
I was trying to
And
talk
they
that
have
shit
to.
to us like we're in the wrong. But it really is them in the wrong for cooning and then fucking agreeing that this shit is
Right.
a fucking such it when it really isn't. They really shouldn't be looked at as fucking anything but the motherfucking enemy, the fucking devil. And it's amongst that, not only this that, but the OTPs as well. Not just the Caucasoids, but the other OTPs. Strong black
people versus everybody.
Want to be empowered and standing for the fucking against racial white supremacy in all 9 areas. And thank you, Jess Paris. Mm-hmm. Oh man, you preach to a choir. Preaching to the choir. I got sisters just like that. Oh fuck that! Say they shoot in the chest all day.
Keep that thing.
Exactly, Chevron.
Right.
Amen, brother.
Right, because you're still benefiting from it. You're still benefiting from it. You might not have owned a slave. You might not have any dealings with kind of slavery.
Thank you, Chef, man. That was bad insightful. Excuse me, fella. I had a coffee. I set up this whole shit because I thought Jesse was going to be here. I forgot he had to take the vehicle back. So I set it all up so he could be on the mic, play with all the buttons and stuff.
Yep.
I wanted to play with the buttons, but he was too tired last night to play with the buttons. He was giving me a hard time and I was feeding into it. But I was like, get on the mic. Get on the mic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1944.
Man, you see my headphones?
Yep. Well, Trump is fucking right, and DOJ refused to prosecute it. Remember they found that warrant. Remember they found that warrant, Shabaka, and they refused to.
Oh, that little boy's soul was calling out for justice. You know what I mean? When they found that warrant and they ignored that shit, and the Panthers couldn't have drugged that bitch out the fucking nursing home. That's what I was like, come on, man. Somebody go in there and drop that bread and have some nurses bring that old ass bitch out. Throw that bitch in the motherfucking van and let's get the justice. I was like, that little boy's soul was crying out for justice, leading people to that motherfucking overlooked warrant that's been sitting there collecting dust and shit. I'm surprised they can even read it. However, nobody wanted to drag that old ass bitch out and give her the work. I was like, man, fuck that. I got some bread on motherfucker. If I was right there, I'm like, I pay a nurse. I get that motherfucking old white lady out there in her motherfucking shitty diapers and fucking raggedy ass motherfucking floppy ass fucking pale skin. Put that bitch in a motherfucking van and get to moving on. And I'm like, we're gonna get justice out of this bitch. This bitch is like the fucking the epitome of fucking killing a black man. You know what I mean? The responsibility of it all. And they were just, oh, she's too old. Fuck that. You ain't never too old to catch the motherfucking hands of fucking black justice. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
Everybody's like, I'm gonna drag her out. I mean, she got this and that. You know, like, what the fuck you mean? Put that bitch in a motherfucking van. The shitty diapers and all. Like, what the fuck? I don't give a fuck how old this bitch is. She did something.
Right.
She did something.
Exactly.
A little boy was on display. You know what I mean? He's gone. And his mother right there, trying to just holding her. Man, come on, cuz. What do you mean? Go drag that bitch out. Drag that bitch out. You know what I mean? Give somebody. You ain't mean there's no nurses that want to collect a couple of dollars. What you talking about? Wherever she was,
remember they kept moving her ass around too.
They kept moving her around and hiding her like she was some grandiose secret. No, go find that old ass bitch and bring that bitch out, stick her in a motherfucking bed, kidnap that bitch and bring her out to justice. Fuck it. Take that motherfucking charge. If you bout it, take that charge. I mean, what you gonna do? Hold that bitch accountable, but they're like, she's too old. We can't honor this. We can't honor this warrant. This, and that. I'm like, man, everybody need to be fired and beat up. Everybody, because look what happened. We waited all that time, and that little boy was crying out. His soul was meandering. Talking about, look right here, look right here, it's right here. Look, there's a warrant right there. Go get that bitch. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like real shit. It's so like that's how I was interpreting it. You know what I mean? The little boy meandering in the soulless little area. He can't rest. He couldn't rest. He led him all the way to the warrant. Can you imagine? That's a real thing. Nobody was hearing me though.
Right.
I was like, TMZ paid for fucking interviews. Can't nobody get up in there and interview? You can't find no white person to go in there and say they're the family member, pay a motherfucker off and drag some old ass fucking raggedy, nasty, dirty old bitch out. I'm just saying. Surely somebody has money. Take a collection plate up, cuz what's wrong with everybody?
Yes. Yeah. The whole damn system is guilty.
And the way they let that white lady off with a fucking pass, even in death, they let this bitch off, and then she died, right? She died.
Yeah, she died in the nursing home.
It's like, are you fucking serious? I would love to see that white lady die in a fucking dirty ass fucking prison cell. You know what I mean? Or from a heart attack in court. I was like, she could have died in transit, and I would have been happy. Mm-hmm. I'm weird here. I'm here. Jesse,
yeah, he still would have a connection issue.
That's why one of them houses they try to throw rocks and stuff like that.
No, you're thinking of Fred Hampton.
Can you hear us?
Fred Hampton's race on the shooter up here.
Oh, but you can hear it. You can hear us over here on the stream yard. Yeah. Yeah. No, man.
Okay. Oh, so the illegals.
I live on the west side.
Okay.
South side.
Yeah.
Goodness. Hello.
Yep.
Bluetooth connected.
Twin, can you hear me? On the stream yard? I'm talking on the mic like all extra close to it. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That was
Yeah, you got that Tubi quality work.
oh yeah, big time.
Everything looks like Tubi movies. And like that quality is so sub below, yeah.
Yeah, she's still here.
Ah, Sister Trish, I didn't know you was in there. Hey, get all excited when the sister's side. Like, I'm not alone.
Oh yeah, big time. I'm still on restriction. I'm on restriction until tomorrow.
Good for you, Jesse. Now you understand. Now you get it.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. That's quality. That's quality training right there. Yeah.
Um, right. Well, so we're about to go into overtime, y'all. So mhm. Oh,
It's a bird.
that's Rob. Oh, you're Robert Kelly. Chef Rob, Brother Rob, you're Robert Kelly, correct? Oh, okay. No, this is Brother Robert Kelly, your Facebook friend.
No, I don't have any jokes, Rob.
You had invited us to your show. You're having a show in like an hour. Okay.
That's right.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. That's right. 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 We have Robert Kelly, uh, Chef Rob. We have uh, we have two nationwide banks. Yeah. Yep. Somebody got to break the cycle. Okay.